Hello again, this is Vildra. I am back. I couldn't resist a cute picture of a cottage I saw on Pinterest, and I've tried to recreate it, sort of. It didn't turn out like in the picture I saw exactly, but well, I found this lovely little 20 by 20 lot in Brindleton Bay by the beach. And this was kind of a beach house. So I decided that this will probably be for the save file. It's a very tiny little cottage and it only has room for one sim. And then there's a little tower on it, which I thought was really cute. According to the picture, it should have been a very light lemony yellow. But there's no such color in the game, sadly. There is either a very, very bright yellow, or there is a almost beige yellow, and I hesitated a lot. I'm not quite certain I got the perfect roof trims on this one, or that I did the roofs. The roofs are difficult. It's an art. I haven't fully mastered it yet. But I'm trying my best. This is only my third build, I think. Or fourth, maybe. Yes, my fourth. I had a lot of fun with this. This one I didn't... I started out as usual with no idea whatsoever on how to do this. But the cottage is very cute, and I didn't make it very rustic inside. It's more like kind of chic, I think. It's different from the other cottage I made. I figure if you can afford to have a small lot next to the beach, maybe you aren't a pauper. You can see me struggling with the roofs here. It was really hard. Also, initially I raised the house up a bit because I wanted a small... It wasn't that like that on the picture I looked at, but I wanted a small staircase, just a few steps. But it is impossible to make stairs diagonal, I found out. Actually, it started with... I started trying to make stairs on the backside because I had no idea what the backside overlooking the beautiful beach looked like, because I only saw a picture of the front of the house. But I decided you cannot have a beach view and not make the most of it, so I added a back porch later. And then I realized I need some stairs here. And that was no problem, but then I got to the front and realized it is not possible to do diagonal stairs. I tried several different ones and it didn't work. So I gave that up. And so I will raise the house up in a bit. And then I will lower it down again. But it was really tricky to figure out what to put where. Especially with the kitchen, it was hard. It felt like a given that I should have the dining table in the tower. The tower is also full height. It is 2 stories, but the top one is... I've knocked out the ceiling, so it goes all the way up. I'm really happy with the stone I found, but you can see the yellow colors. They aren't that yellow, or they're very yellow. I had a hard time deciding, but I think I decided to go with a not so yellow because it screamed yellow. I wanted that really nice sort of pastel lemon yellow that it was in the original picture. But as usual, life is full of compromises, and this is no exception. I had no big struggle this time with finding windows and doors though. I found those windows almost immediately. I'm going to shift them around in the other parts of the house later on because I had to, because of furnishing issues. But I had a hard time figuring out where to put the kitchen and where to put the bathroom because it is tiny. And also the front porch is very small, and it was in the original house as well. It wasn't big enough to have a seating area or anything like that. And the picture I saw only had a flower pot and such there. So I have done the same here. And it's also why I felt it really needed a back porch. So I added that. Struggling a bit here, deciding. There was nothing that was exactly what I wanted, but I will eventually go with the best I can do. I had a hard time with that diagonal roof and how it intersects with the other roofs over the porch. I'm not sure I succeeded, and I'm not sure about that roof trim, but it is as it is. If you download it, and you can probably fix it and make it better. I don't know why I couldn't put corbels up there. I only put window boxes on the tower. I cannot explain why, but I felt it might be too much otherwise. And initially I put some pink flowers at the entrance because that's how it was in the picture I looked at, but I will remove those eventually because I wanted to do it my way, of course. I think I am ready to start with the interior here, and I have figured out I need to put the bathroom in that corner, so I moved the windows. Also, there are no windows on that side wall. Well, there were in the beginning, but I realized I didn't want a window straight into the bathroom. Trying to make it as compact as possible. I had to redo the bathroom afterwards. After I recorded the video, I play tested it, and I had to move stuff around. I also realized later that there was nowhere to place the bed. That was good, because there are no long walls without windows. So I will move that bathroom door in a bit. Found that lovely tiling from Realm of Magic. I really like that. And I wish that it had there are no tiled floors with white tiles that have the white, what do you call it? In-betweens, the thingies in between that you fix the tiles with. They have dark borders and it doesn't fit, but I'm happy with that flooring. I use it a lot, and the matching wall tiles as well I use a lot. Knickknacks, toilet paper, towels. I think I had to move out that basket eventually when I play tested. There just wasn't room. Deciding on light. I really like that light. I've never used it before, but I think it's kind of cute. It's difficult with bathroom lighting because since often you put chandeliers on top of tables and such, and then they're not in the way, but in a bathroom the sim needs to be able to pass. Now I'm doing the dining area because that's basically the only thing in the room I knew where to put, and I realized immediately I need a small table, a round table, So I'm looking at all of those, trying to see what fits and what doesn't fit, and what can I find chairs I like to go with it. So the one with chairs there, that would be a more rustic feel. And the one with the tablecloth and the covered chairs, I think that's Dine Out, which is more kind of stylish, I guess. It's a totally different style, at least. And I was thinking of going with that bare white table and the chair you see to the left now. But I had second thoughts. I'm basically trying all the small tables there are, but I'm settling for this. And that kind of set the atmosphere for the room. The usual curtain problem. I did find this time, though, that if I angled the camera differently, I could actually make them stick to the wall right above the window instead of in the middle of the window frame. But this was tricky. I didn't know how to put the left and right ones, so I ended up putting 3 left and 2 right. I don't know. It's just how it turned out. And I found I never used this chandelier before, but I thought it kind of fit for a beach cottage. I haven't decided on the color of the walls yet. And I went with the appliances from Realm Magic because I don't know, I felt like I was going with white stuff with just a little color, but not at all the same modern look as I did in the Scandinavian build. And I wanted this bed, and there was nowhere to put it, nowhere good. And of course I needed, well, I went for a love seat because it's tiny, but there has to be a sofa. And I really didn't know what to do. I found a few possible ones. But, well, what will it be? I think it will be a white one. For a minute I considered that one. I think it's from Cats and Dogs, because it fit really well with the bed. But then I had to second guess the bed, of course. I tend to use that bed from Seasons with the curtains on a lot, and only a couple of swatches of it. It's a good bed. It's pretty. Not feeling really comfortable with the kitchen there. Thinking, what should I do with that wall? Can I make more counters there? But I will decide against it. And there aren't really any good cupboards to fit with the Parenthood counters which I used there. I will switch them out to later. Not happy. Moving in the fridge in the corner. I realized I need to separate the kitchen because it's not going to work. I only have three walls there. It was a bit difficult. I struggled a bit with this. So I decided to do something else in between. Put some more lights in the dining area. I'm trying to shift the furniture around and I'm not happy. Nothing works. That doesn't work either. I'm sorry I spin the house around so much. Then I'm rethinking the bed again. There must be something else I can use. Maybe this one. Maybe kitchen over here instead. But then it's really far from the dining area. And then there's a door. And then there's windows. What to do? What to do? Finally, I decide I need to move the bathroom door. Because that is the only good wall I really have where I can place the bed. So I shift things around. It turned out I had to switch this when I play tested because it didn't work for several reasons. The bathroom itself didn't work because she couldn't use the toilet, I think, and the sink, even after I shifted it around, because I put in a shelf later that was too low, so she couldn't get past it. But also she couldn't cook because the fridge is in the corner there and the chair is in the way, so she couldn't open the fridge door. So before I went in and took the screenshots, but when I play tested, I switched places between the bathroom door and the fridge, and then it worked. I also had to change the clutter a little because I had too much stuff, so she couldn't cook. But everything is play tested now and works. Well, I haven't actually tested the mailbox, but I can't see that being a problem. Then there was the bother of the shelves, or the counters. They felt too bulky, and you get them straight in the face when you walk through the door. So I felt I had to fix that. And I wanted some sort of, well, there is a mirror, so she doesn't really need a dresser. But some sort of side table was needed. I really wanted that dresser that passed by recently here, but it was too big. They were all too big. I settled for this bookcase, even though it's kind of out of style compared to the other stuff. But I wanted a bookcase in, and I didn't have any space, so a wall-hung bookcase was really the only option. Desperately trying to decide on a side table and what to do with it. This is kind of a minimalistic build. There is no laundry stuff in this build. There is a TV, but there is no computer. But otherwise, I think you have everything you need. If you want to do laundry, you won't be able to fit any laundry machines in. So, but you can do a wash tub and clothesline. I could have put that in, but I chose not to. Now the important business of the rug. My favorite rug, of course. But I found these interesting quarter rugs. That's just a quarter of a rug, and I decided to use that. I've never used that before. And I thought, since the furniture is rather pale, it would look good with a darker floor. And I tried different ones, but this is an old beach hut, so I felt the floorboard should look a bit worn. So I think I will pick something eventually from Outdoors Retreat. Maybe that one. And then I do love striped wallpaper. And I was almost certain from the beginning that I would go for striped, but I went for these ones. What do you call them? I don't know what it's called in English. But in a grey tone. I almost went for the yellow, but it would clash with the bed. I didn't want to add more color. I had the mint green bluish color and a little pink, and I thought that was enough. And I went for the same curtains on all windows. I'm really happy. The narrow windows, it's always much easier when you choose narrow windows, because then there are actually curtains that fit. Or you have double wide windows, so you can use two of those in one window. But otherwise curtains are difficult. I was considering a pink rug there for a bit, but it stuck out like a sore thumb. It felt very dominant, so I went for that one, which I think fit better. That's a good pattern. It's a good base rug, the big one as well, in the same pattern. Very useful. And now I think I'm moving into the actual cluttering. I cut out a lot here because it was endless rummaging through catalogue, and that is not much fun to watch. But you will see in the screenshots later. I haven't gotten to pulling out the red shelf yet, but I will. I experimented a little with the lights that on a string that looks like little flowers, but then it looked too much like a teen room, so I put it in and took it out again. Decided on putting some shelves over the sofa because there wasn't much clutter space, and we do need clutter. And then I decided to switch out the cupboards, the top cupboards, because they're too big. The thing with it's really good that these shelves come both filled and unfilled, because it doesn't feel real when you have three next to each other and they have the exact same items on all of them. But I will have to move all of those later because they were too low. She couldn't cook. But I did that when I was playtesting, so you won't see it until the screenshots. There wasn't much wall space to put art on. So I'm kind of... There's not much art on the walls. That's also why I felt I needed the little shelves there, so there was something happening. Also, not a lot of floor space to put plants on, because well, the Sims need to be able to move around. Bedside table, sizing down stuff to put on the shelves. Also, that little shelf on the wall has some clutter space. I really like that knight statue thingy, but I couldn't make it the correct height, so I gave it up. I finally ended up with this one, which I also sized down. I felt that things like that kind of fit the style here. Now there will be lots of cluttering I had to swap out some stuff because I used some debug items like the cups and the glasses and the bowls, and first it turned out that the mixer bowls, they were not empty. They started oozing green, so I took those out, and then a while later the glasses turned out not to be empty and started oozing, so I had to throw those out. But then I found another mixer bowl that I'm hoping, I tried to leave it on for 24 hours or 24 sim hours to make sure it wasn't oozing, and it wasn't. If it starts oozing, you'll have to throw it out. But as far as I can see, it's not something that was filled with something. You can't see that in the debug because the glasses I used, they were called empty glass. So I thought, great, they're empty. Turns out they weren't. Thrown out a few items that I wanted to use. So those little porches are mostly for decoration. You can't really sit on them. And realizing that, I saw the need for a back porch and a seating area and a grill, of course. You gotta have that when you live by the beach. More roofs. Roofs are difficult. It's an art I haven't mastered yet. I started with a red grill. Turned out later that it didn't fit. The baskets went on the porch. And what is next? Yes, a path to the beach, of course. I think the terrain tools are really hard to use, and I was afraid to use it on this lot because there is no tool that matches the grass in Brindleton Bay, so if you mess up, you can't repair it. So I was extra careful with the terrain tools here. I love that well. It's the same one I used with the Tudor build, but this one actually had a roof that matched the house this time, which I was happy with, and of course the white flowers. I went for these ones this time instead of the usual wall climbing ones. I sized them up and put them on one side. They're really pretty. And the other ones instead I sized down because this is a tiny house. And I sized up those narcissus. I think that's the only earth terrain color I used here because I was a bit scared of it. I've gotten rid of the pink things. It was thistle that I chosen a pink color and scaled up. I didn't like those. I do like the little daisies though. I used a lot of them as fillers. And then of course a pond. You gotta have a pond. This time I didn't put any of the usual white flowers in it. I love the grass. I always use that. But instead I went with Lily of the Valley, I think. Little patches of Lily of the Valley to fill it up around the edges. But then I realized that I would have to move the pond, which took some extra time. I think it turned out quite cute. because for the first time I decided to put a fence. I don't think I've put any fences around my builds before. Not much at least. Well, I tried in the first one, but there was no room. But this is a very small house. So I decided it needs a white picket fence, but you have to fence one tile in, and then it's sort of cut through the pond in a way I didn't really like. So I decided I needed to move it to the other side. And actually most of the plants and stones came with it when I moved it. I didn't think that would happen. But I couldn't move it closer to the house because of the shape of the pond. So I had to switch it over to the other side. And I actually only lost a few lily of the valley pads. So I had to fix that. I lost some rocks as well. I think they were deleted. The lily of the valley pads, they were just lying around mostly, I think. So that pond moved, order restored. And I don't know, all my Sims tend to paint a lot. I don't know why, but for several reasons, I think it's really awesome to make your own paintings, especially painting from reference. So I actually did that here too. I decided to, because the view is stunning from the back porch, or the back side of the house, really. So I decided to put up an easel. Oh, here are the daisies. I put lots of daisies. They're pretty. I decided to put up an easel so you could look at the beach and paint. And I also put out the little I don't know what you call it, the little set of drawers, the artist's cabinet, I think it's called, because it has it gives inspiration if you enable the emotional aura. And I had my sim paint from reference the view of the beach, which I left on the easel, so it will be there if you download this house. Well, we're getting close to the screenshots, so I will stop talking now. Thank you for watching. If you want to download the house, I will upload it to my gallery. My origin ID is Vildra. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!
I can't get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? For this all my life, you're just take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time. Do you remember? Can I take you there? You're all I need.
Can I take you there? Can I take you there?
Take you there.